My name is Saleha Junaidy. I have my master's degree in food safety and quality assurance, as well as I'm a microbiologist, certified auditor, as well as PCQI. So the topic today is creating a food safety culture that adapts to a changing workforce as well as new technologies. And I think there is a lot more discussion since morning about the technologies, about the multi-generational stuff, training, AI, and those topics are also embedded in my presentation. We will look at the background, why we are talking about food safety culture. We'll give some reality check, because we all are from food industry, and we know what roadblocks we see on a daily basis. Foundation for resilient food safety culture, adapting food safety culture in diverse workforce, and integrating technology and learning into these new era. Embedding food safety in routines and rituals, as well as, like in the end, we will have some time for question and answers. We all know food safety is rapidly growing because of a lot of requirements for innovation, customer demands, and obviously we all know about plant-based. Now we are hearing a lot more about lab-grown meat and food fortification. There are a lot of global initiatives. And the cost is going up because of the geopolitical situations, wars, and creating shortages, so we have to find replacements for our existing ingredients and suppliers. There are, since after COVID, I guess, more remote and hybrid roles. Companies are using consultants and subject matter experts to avoid extra cost. Social media, obviously, sometimes if it's not controlled, it can spread misinformation. Sometimes people can claim stuff which is not true. And then we need to make sure that we have a culture which also focuses on all these problems. There is a generation gap, multi-generational teams in most of the sites, diversity, and now, since morning, we have been hearing a lot about AI, and almost all companies have started integrating AI in their autonomous or automatic processes. So before we start, so I call it gobsmacked, or I would say in simply daily shocking news for QA. How many of us have heard, like, just run it, it will be fine, right? It will be sanitized properly in the end, just continue running. Or I have always done it in this way. How many of us have heard this sentence that, why you are asking me to change it? To me, because I'm an auditor, this is my point to go to the root cause. Like, okay, it means they have outdated protocols. That's why they are saying, that I have done it this way. It will be fine, nothing happened, it doesn't smell bad, and it looks fine. These are the sentences we hear on a daily basis. To me and to all of us, this is a reality check that it means this company or this site specifically, their culture is production first and safety later. Or they are ignoring or bypassing the culture, the values. We all know culture refers to the shared patterns of beliefs, customs, rituals in a group, or I would say an industry. But for us, it is everything from daily routines to crisis management. The way we think, the way we act, and the way we interact with each other on the floor, on corporate side, or in all departments, cross-functional teams. So it shows like a weak culture if you hear these sentences every day in your daily life, and I think we all agree that it does. So nowadays, compliance is no longer effective or enough. Obviously, regulatory departments, they set minimum standards in order to release food to be present in the market. You do micro checks. There are minimum limits, okay? You check 5 samples, it should be less than 10 CFU. But industry has gone far beyond. We always try to strive for improvement, to improve our processes, to improve our culture, to improve our outcome with the social media, of course, in place. And then true resilience always comes from building a strong and adaptive food safety culture. If the culture which is embedded in behaviors on a day-to-day activities in our frontline workers, operators, then obviously it's easy for QA department or corporate department to make decisions, to control incidents, etc. Now, the foundations could be always think beyond basic compliance. Never think that, the requirement is this, so I will stick to this. Look for improvement and set your standards high. If you don't have resources, there are ways to seek help from social, I would say, AI, Microsoft Pilot. There are Microsoft Forms. Embedding food safety in culture, it means your overall culture or environment should be food safety driven. So how we do that, how we train our employees to think on a daily basis that this step is safe and this is not. And it only comes from when we make people accountable and we shared ownership. So if QA is the only one who is responsible for the entire site food safety programs, you will never achieve that culture. But if we have operator who thinks I'm a very important person and food safety is my task, he or she or they take ownership, then obviously it's very easy for us. And resilience always comes through consistency. So if a QA manager one day make one decision and next day because someone tells them, no, you can't do this, you have to release this product, change that decision without letting them know why they make that decision, obviously you are not consistent. And employees should understand the why behind the food safety practices. If they don't know what could happen, if they don't even, just minor hand wash is not done properly, what could happen, they will never follow these rules. And we already saw so many videos that how you can monitor hand washing. And obviously, internal auditing can also reveal some of the gaps in your program. And then shared accountability. So all organizational levels. So if we have an innovation department, in my past life, I wouldn't say next life, but past life, when I worked in the industry, I'm in industry for 15 years. Innovation will come, they will create a product, hand off to QA, and then they are gone. And then QA department is struggling later with the recall and stuff, or the quality issue or food safety issue, because it was not embedded in their culture. So we can improve these things by including R&D, supply chain, and all other departments. The most important thing which I look in my, I would say, role is continuous improvement. It doesn't need to be a very fancy or high expensive continuous improvement, but even minor things. So if you are doing sensory analysis or any QA checks, if you can remove that checklist culture and make it a barcoding system with Microsoft Forms, it gives your employees some feeling that, something is happening. QA is not like 50 years back program, and then there are forms which are updated in 1996 or 2002, and we are still continuing the same thing. Minor things can show them that we are updated and our culture is changing and we are open to change. And then the most important part is trust and communication. So previously it was said that divide and rule, but I say connect and rule. So if you connect with your team on a regular basis, if you connect your frontline workers on a regular basis, it leaves a great impact on them. And how to adapt the changing workforce, because we all know now most of the people, I don't know about the your facilities, but I also work in industry, that most of the people are retiring in 2 years, in 3 years, and 4 years. And how are we going to combat with that changing workforce? Because now soon, we already have Gen Zs working for us, and then soon there will be another generation. So food industry teams, so how I am combating with that, I'm creating multi-generational groups, making a group of 2 or 3, one from the most experienced person and one from the junior person. So we have a skill sets and experienced person there, and then the new people who are coming in now onboarding, they are very good and high tech in creating these forms, barcoding, and then creating Excel sheets which can create alerts for you. So if you don't have automation or automatic processes, you can also work with Excel, but this new generation is already trained on these things, so don't waste time and just make groups with people, different people, and they can work on it. Challenge of multi-generation differences, obviously, because there is a difference in values and belief, but at the end of the day, we all want to make the safe product without affecting any consumers. Impact of remote and hybrid roles. So most of these subject matter expert, they stay, I guess, maybe different country or continent. So what we need to do, in case if we need any suggestions from them, we need to provide them as much information as possible. Sometimes we are talking to these experts and we are not giving them full information, they can't make the right decision. So, and always be proactive, not be reactive. So predict, and how can you predict? So you create trends. If you have AI-generated trend analysis or you are using Power BI or Excel, great. If not, you can still do it and create it on Excel sheets and then review your data and say, you know what, yeah, I'm seeing a trend there. And we saved a lot of incidents just because of reviewing our trend and 2 or back 3 years data, and then we see, okay, there is a pattern there that we are doing a lot of mistakes for best before coding or label or something. And then you can start reducing little by little, like 5% reduction will give you a good number to achieve. Integrating technology, obviously advanced monitoring technology, most of us have probes integrated into our silos or hoppers or processes, and also sensor-based processes like temperature, sanitation, cleaning practices can be detected by all these sensors as we saw in the morning. So AI tool analyze data for risk assessment. If we train our people, because obviously AI cannot remove the human from the workforce. So if we have AI and we combine and utilize both together, we train our people on risk assessment and root cause analysis, which is also the part of reducing your incidents and non-conformities. It kind of mitigate the risk. Human judgment and training. You can arrange one-on-one sessions. You can arrange remote meetings. You can have tier 1, 2, 3 meetings at all level. They can help each other. And then always balance technology integration with your human workforce. So technology and people to prevent new risk. There is limitation of automation, as we heard since morning. Obviously, they can detect, they can report, but if there is no human monitoring it or there is no human to make decision, obviously your food safety culture lapses there. The training is very important for employees. I notice, and we all like Alchemy a lot and such platforms that people can quickly, finish their trainings, but you can still make your own videos and own training program and upload in Alchemy. If you have like a similar incidents happening over time, then you can always create a root cause analysis for that incident as an example and upload in your systems. Human adaptability and, okay, so I will just skip that one. That was the repeated slide. Embedding food safety into everyday behaviors and leadership. So how you can do that? So the first thing you do your gap assessment, like, okay, where I'm lacking, what my trend is showing, where should I focus on? And then you start routine hygiene and procedure monitoring. Is it followed? Is consistent hand washing is being done? You can review records, and if you find the same mistake, someone is scribbling or making mistakes over and over in records, that means there is an issue there. Uh, Empowered communication, always use visual tools. It can be done using Microsoft Pilot, like AI program. You just explain them what you want to do. They will create everything for you, OPL, one-point lesson, with pictures. And then uh, if, ask your employees to report all hazards. So in order to make it successful, we started a reward program. So we encourage our employees to report any food safety problems. The reason is because some companies have a culture where employees are scared to report something. So to encourage them to report, we kind of start a competition, okay, whoever will bring more ideas, will give them like $25 gift card for Tim Hortons or McDonald's. And I got overwhelmed, like how many ideas and issues people brought to us. So always think like out of the way what you can do. And I know I am QA for longer period of time. Like we always push back for some of the stuff, right? Because, but then there are ways that I know how to, kind of go there and get what we want. Proactive risk identification. So the first thing which I have done in my, I would say, experience, I train my supervisors, my managers, my workforce on risk assessment. They are trained in a way that now they do, like how you do mental maths at Kumon. I train them in risk assessment. Just remember this bar, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and think, like, how, is someone going to get killed because of this? Someone will die? No? Okay, so it's not high risk. They'll get sick or they'll have like physical injury. Think about it and then think what is the likelihood it is present in the food. So they do their own risk assessment and then they try to take decisions based on it. Then you go as a leader and then you reinforce and support them. So your workforce is doing all the work and you are supporting them in making these decisions. Modeling safe behavior means, and it's above us, senior leadership, VPs, they should also reinforce food safety culture. The good thing about GFSI standards, which I like, 15 years back, plant managers wouldn't come for the audits. And it's only QA job that is struggling with the audit, running around the plant, collecting paperwork. And I have been through this, like it's a time. But now it has changed a lot. One audit, BRC auditor raised a non-conformity in senior management that food safety culture is poor. Right after that, my plant manager and director started showing up for the audits. And then they supported us, right? So, and it gives them the idea that the leader is involved. So top to bottom, everybody is kind of following the food safety culture. Creating psychological safety, as I said, some people are scared. So have some reward program. Or if you can, if your company don't allow you to give the gift cards or stuff, then at least thank them. Display their name on your communication board, that this person kind of assisted us and helped us to prevent this incident. Integrating safety into decision. So obviously, when you have that risk assessment modeling in place, you train everybody, they always integrate it in their decisions. And leadership should do the same thing. Sustaining resilience over time. So always adapt new technologies. Whatever we know, the workforce is evolving, technologies are evolving. So try to be positive and make it part of your routine. And then align your people, your processes, and tools. Create a consistent and effective food safety systems across various environments. When I say various environments, so I know almost everybody has good processes, SOPs, written documents, but how the employees or supervisor will behave when there is a risk and when something happened overnight or after hours or on the weekend. So when you start like repeating yourself or displaying these tools for them, at some point they are going to use it. And always continuously learning and improvement, so use audit data, use your trend analysis and see where your system is lapsed and what you can do to improve that part, and then it will help to strong cultural foundation. So always reinforce core values and show resilience beyond compliance. So I think that's is most of the thing. And the key takeaway for today is obviously do the gap assessment, create a plan. So if you have a plan, there are Microsoft Excel Gantt charts. You can use them. Are you lacking in training? Are you lacking in some tools? Or there is a big generation gap. How can you bring it closer? And then start coaching and training your team members. Start from your direct report and then encourage them to do the same thing with their direct reports. Set up some rewarding culture that, okay, at least start saying thank you. Regular meetings with all the stakeholders, not only the plant teams, but obviously your R&D teams, your supply chain, marketing teams. Sometimes marketing bring ideas, great ideas, and they are there. That's why you have lots of innovation. But they also need to learn the food safety and cultural practices. That's it from today. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Any questions? Oh, all the way in the back. We'll bring you the microphone there, sir.
Hello. Quick question regarding, a lot of the discussions have been more that, leadership needs to do this. There seems to be this disconnect between food safety, QA, the higher levels, the ivory tower syndrome, right? They come down, they tell the operators, this is how you do it. Now, I'm with company G3. We took a more lateral approach of it, and the QMS guys more or less came and said, hey guys, this is what we need to do. This is why we need to do it. How do we get there without really impacting your processes? And we found that we've had a lot more buy-in. Now it's their system. It's not head office told us to do this as well as everything else we're doing. Have you seen any more examples of doing a more lateral approach rather than a top-down, and what kind of successes they had?
So, I have worked in bigger companies and smaller companies. So in smaller companies, it's mostly lateral. I have seen that. But obviously, where the corporate culture is strong, usually things come from the top, right? And no matter what you say, you have to do it. So sometimes, obviously, if I need to get convinced first, so they need to explain to me. I arrange meetings with them, tell me why we need to do it. And the good thing, if I am not convinced, I go back to them with some evidence, with data, that, we have been doing it I would say 5 samples or 10 samples, and now you're asking us to do 20 samples. What is the reason for that? There is no risk in our food processes, and we do not agree, plus it will increase the cost. So one thing which I have noticed, that if you go back and you show some cost reduction, they go back. They kind of step back. But doing more is only good if you are doing bare minimum. But if you are already doing a lot, like food industry has evolved a lot, I would say in this case, you need some more dialogue, some more communication with the top management as well as your employees. And sometimes it will help, I can't promise. Sometimes they don't listen. If it comes to corporate, maybe at plant level, sometimes we don't know. They may have a recall for some reason, and they try to implement that procedure as a corrective action they have taken in one site to all the sites without kind of understanding what is the level of understanding at that site. So this is something I think there is some communication started already between the sites and corporate level, but still we need to discuss a lot more. And sometimes they are right. Like after Listeria and that silk products, they figured it out that it was sanitation, right? And it was non-food or food contact surfaces. So sometimes maybe I feel it like, okay, maybe they know more or they have got it as a corrective action for some of the recalls.
Well, and your ops guys are going to be able to find the holes. For example, a cannabis facility near where I live, I have a good friend that works there. They issued a recall. It did a lot of damage. And when I was talking to him about it, he's like, yeah, we said it was going to happen because what they wanted us to do didn't work, right? So it's important to make sure that you are talking to the guys who have their hands in the products, because they're going to see all of the fail-safes as either a failure or a protection, right? They'll have that hands-on knowledge.
Yeah, no, I agree totally that they should communicate with the site people.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes. They're making you put the kilometers on your feet there today with that microphone.
Hi, my name is Rupinder. I'm from Jam's Mushrooms in Vancouver. I have a question on reward program. Has anybody come across a situation when we say, okay, we can reward a person who, let's say, they find, if you find a contaminant in the product, please report it. And where they might say, okay, there might be more contamination, where people might do adulteration in order to get the reward. Has anybody come across that? Did you get my question, though? So, no, there has been a situation like where it was suggested that for the reward program, how do we make sure that people aren't making things up, like not bringing adulteration?
Oh, you would know. You would know. Because usually what happens, we ask supervisors to report it to us. Sometimes employees, when they hear about this reward program, they will take you and show you the evidence. So if they are making it up, you would know. If you have like one problem, I would say, I will just take an example, like people were not wearing hair nets or not washing hands. You would know it because your food contact surfaces will be contaminated afterwards.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
The main thing was like, my concern was not bringing contamination, and because we deal with the fresh produce, and because it's coming from the farms, and sometimes we do come across contaminants on our conveyor belts, right? So we do ask people to report something, and obviously we don't want people to be ignoring it, and it's everybody's job to. Food safety is everybody's job, right? And the thing was, like, when we started handing out rewards, and more things were actually coming out. So,
yeah, so how we did it, we set out guidelines, right? So it should support or it should provide us an evidence that you prevented something. You are showing something which is not the daily thing, like, okay, I found a metal detector reject. No. You found something was cracked and it could have contaminated the processes, and you called maintenance and say, you know what, if it falls off in the product, it will create a big hazard. And then they always call QA for these things. Then you know that this person has identified something and prevented a food safety hazard. So, and then obviously at the end of the day, everybody will start reporting, but then you have your HACCP team. When you have a meeting with them, just have a list of employees who have reported what, and then you decide that which one is the real incident and helped you preventing the recall or crisis. Does that answer your question?
We have one more question here in the middle.
I can't even see.
First of all, thank you for the presentation. So, quick question. That was a great suggestion that you had for having both Gen Z and have experienced people both on the team to be able to work together and somehow, I guess, fill the gap of each other. But because of the gap of the generation, it's really difficult sometimes to convince Gen Z that their experience sometimes work, which AI doesn't understand, or the experience always has been like this forever. Why do we need to change? Any suggestion how we can fill this gap between these two generations to be more productive based on your suggestion?
So one of the practical example, like currently what I am doing, I hire summer interns, mostly because I'm from University of Goa, so I'll prefer to get their co-op students. So, but you can get it from anywhere. I don't know if the company has that program or not, but I hire like co-op students who already very well versed in these technological things. And then I have supervisors there who are like there for longer period of time, using the same protocols for 20 years. So that person has good skills, experience, but do not know how to automate or create Excel sheets or for Microsoft Forms. So then we create some, I would say, kickoff meetings with them. Everybody in the same room discussing what is the project, how we are going to implement it. They have this discussion, and then they connect every 2 weeks or every month, and then finish the project. And trust me, we have implemented some good programs afterwards. So yes, there is a gap. There is a difference in beliefs. Maybe your new intern wouldn't come right at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock. They'll come at 9, but they will do the job, and they are pretty good.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.